Everyone always talks about the first voyage of Christopher Columbus, but no one ever says anything about the truly depraved second voyage. It took place because after Columbus returned to Spain in early 1493, most people believed that he had found the islands just off the Chinese mainland. A second expedition was quickly organized to take advantage of this news, but this trip would have a darker vibe to it, a much darker vibe. When Columbus got back to the Caribbean in the fall of 1493, he ended up at some islands that appeared to be populated by cannibals. The village itself appeared to be mostly abandoned, but the female prisoners the Spanish found there told them horrific stories. The women told the Spanish they had been impregnated by their captors so they could, quote, devour their offspring, and that honestly set the tone for the rest of the voyage. Columbus eventually made his way to a small fortification he had left behind, only to find all 39 members had been killed. The nearby Indians told him that the men had taken to plundering local villages and stealing women for themselves, so their deaths were really acts of retribution. This set up a conflict with the Taino people that would only grow and grow until it reached terrible proportions. The first thing Columbus did was set up a second settlement in what is now the Dominican Republic. A few weeks after that, hundreds of men came down with severe symptoms of syphilis all at the same time. Columbus blamed heavy womanizing. Some of the men became so sick they had to be sent home early. They carried back with them large nuggets of gold that left the impression that gold was easily attainable on the island, which it wasn't. The Spanish men that came to replace them would be highly motivated by greed. Back in the Caribbean, Columbus went on these expeditions to try and find the mainland. This turned out to be so difficult to him that he briefly fell into a coma from exhaustion. As he was recovering from this, he ordered the Spanish to take some of the Indians as slaves. This was really a measure of last resort because nothing else of much value had been found on the islands. And then Columbus started forcing every Indian over the age of 14 to give him a small handful of gold each. If they couldn't do it, they would be killed. While this was taking place, the Spanish were plundering local villages and taking women for themselves. It got so bad that the Indians began destroying their own food supplies so the Spanish couldn't get it. This led to widespread famine and death. Of the 300,000 natives estimated to be living on Hispaniola, it's estimated that over a third of them died. Some of that was self-inflicted. Columbus was eventually forced to return to Spain after about 2 years to defend his reputation. He would eventually return for another expedition that went terribly wrong, but I'll get into that next time. I'm going through all of American history in chronological order. This has been day 10 of the entire history of America.